What is going on, everybody? Welcome to yet another Ploto Gaming live stream where we are going to be watching some A-seed KVKs yet again. I guess the last time we streamed was the CD seed that 3092 and the 2268 homies are in, but this time we have friends on the channel 2906. We actually had Duke over here on the stream yesterday showing off some of their whale accounts. And now we're going to be watching their KVK for a little bit. I'm not too sure how long I'll be watching this. Probably for like 2 hours-ish. But yeah, just thought I would stream some KVK. Say hi to everybody. Keep the consistent streams going. Let's see who's in here. We got Chorus TV Taki. Bebek. Hi. We got Box. This should be a fun KVK to watch. It should be. It should be. I think this is probably one of the more balanced KVKs that we've seen. And this is kind of what I've been told from A-seed high A-seed KDs, is that currently high A-seed is more fun to play than Imperiums, because Imperiums are kind of like dodging one another, or there's a lot of politics. And in high A-seed, I mean, there is still a little bit of that, but there's more of a player base, a champion base, or a player base, a kingdom base that you have more opportunities to get a good matchup, so should be pretty good. You can see the powers here. Some of the KPs and all that stuff. We're going to be mostly watching this top left corner, but we'll go ahead and watch the bottom right as well. Some notable KDs, 2906 of course. 3379 as a 3k KD at 642 billion KP is super good. 2638 at 1.1 trillion KP as an A-seed is crazy. 2217 at 8 billion. 2217, of course, household name. 1079 Gain and Chappie's old KD, still kicking and doing well. 3308 at 1 trillion KP as well. I mean, there is a ton of good KDs to be out and watching, so we're gonna be trying to see and see how they do. Actually, is that even in oh yeah, why are we streaming this? Hey man, this should be a fun KDK to watch. And there's not really much going on outside of this, so. Oh, they're already starting. 1 minute until pass opens. Already starting to swarm down their buffers here. It's pretty interesting the marches they chose for their buffing marches. They got the Pelagius out here, the Lohar for the healing, the Constantine for, I'm guessing, the tankiness. And what we've learned is that these pass openings are super important. You want to make sure you're one of the first people to take the pass so that you can put down your forts as fast as possible. And we have 15 seconds until this pass opens. Seems too early. I mean, the buffers are dying. Interesting. I mean, they got a couple still over here. There you go. It is now being swarmed. It looks like I'm seeing... Is that a... What keeping with who? As it pairs. Either way, the pass is getting super low already, so might have not been the perfect buffing, or not the buffing marches, but rather the tank marches. But still, these guys are already have it at half health. What's good, Lucid? With the smiley face. GG's, yeah, I appreciate you, man. GG's indeed. as the pass looks like they are running out of things to hit. They still have this. They still have this Charles. Looks like they're hitting a Nevsky. Perhaps underestimating how much damage that their buffing marches would do. But it's almost down. It's almost down. They got a... Oh, wow, interesting. They have a... whatchamacallit. They got an Arthur with Philip on it. It's not the worst march. It's better than the CPO Charles that we had in during our pass opening. But still not the highest DPS in the game. But the pass is about to go down. They had the debuffing Boudica in the middle throughout. And as long as they're not behind their opponents, that's all that really matters. There you go. Let's see how their opponents are doing. Yeah, they were still ahead of their opponents, so... And their opponents are swarming with a CPO Prime. But... in all honesty, it was only like, what, 1 second diff? 2 second diff? And I think they took this pass up here as well, like, pretty fast. You could tell that they took the passes first because they were able to put down the flag forts here. Oh wow, they're still able to put down a flag though. What a huge spot for them. The fact that they were able to put down the flag, they'll be able to build it. They'll be able to burn down this fort so that they could get this flag hop as fast as possible. But I mean, look at the amount of forts down here. This is crazy. Even their opponents are putting some forts all the way in the back. I'm not exactly too sure what that's going to do, but perhaps just a timer that they have to build towards. And this is very similar to the 960 2049 KVK, where it's just going to be a bunch of fort placements to block the flags, force them to half flag. You can see the open field now streaming out from the pass. Is this the big KVK? It's the biggest A-seed KVK. There's a ton of good A-seeds in here. But I'll probably just stream this pass and then Kingsland, because it is King of all Britain, and I've personally seen how the action that King of all Britain brings. But you can see these nuts face tanking over here. They have a lot of random teleports up here actually. I mean, they're gonna get teleported out with the flag, so it makes sense. Let's see the other side of the map here. By the way, I kind of don't like the fact that when you zoom out, you can't see the forts. But that's just me. It'll be a pretty similar situation. And I wasn't able to watch Kent during our KVK in 960 because, of course, we were busy in America. But we will continue to... Where am I? Am I lost? I'm in the bottom zone. Whoops. There you go. We'll just watch some murder balls collide here. This is the exact same spot where we put our fort as well. A defensive fort to kind of delay their flag line. I remember when I random teleported, I was like around here. But in my opinion, it looks like the top camp, the top left camp, the blue camp is random teleporting more than their opponents. Their opponents sticking to this murder ball up and walk up together strategy, which, you know, works. I'm sure that they have their own murder ball elsewhere. Let's see. Oh, there are some random teleports just closer to the fort spots, which makes sense. The thing about King of all Britain is that the map is absolutely huge, so it makes random teleporting that much more valuable to do. Yeah, 06 was first by like 10 seconds, but it's pretty impressive to see what they did with that 10 seconds. They're able to put down these forts. They're able to slow down the fort builds. They're able to block the wall jump on this side. Unfortunately, not able to block the wall jump on this side. Perhaps the fort was a bit too much to the right here. Although I don't know if they were able to put down a flag here or not. You see a bunch of people just trying to random teleport in. And the murder balls are getting pretty close to each other now. They're going to be colliding around this point here. Around here. And the first initial murder ball, it's pretty, like, I remember for our KVK, the murder balls were really weird because everyone in 960 random teleported. And then 2489 just walked past us. And their objective there was to try to block our flag builds from this corner. Oh no, this corner over here, the cry corner. And they just threw all of their open field there, and then we were able to sandwich them. We'll have to see if history repeats itself in this KVK, or they'll do something different. They got 2 balls on the left as well. Now let me go. They have a ball on the left side. We have to keep in mind that this is multiple kingdoms, and they do have a ball on this side as well. Good shout. This is like 3 kingdoms in each camp. So I'm guessing the way that it's split up is like this kingdom go here, this kingdom go here, this kingdom go here. So it's a lot easier to allocate where people go. But it looks like the majority of the ball, you can see all of the blue marches just coming through. My goodness. This is probably very scary to walk into if you're a random teleporter. Fort's not filled, although I don't know if that is a priority fort for them. And this guy's just tanking it. He's like, alright, whatever, I'm gonna die. Let me just swarm down this Nevsky on my way out. Which I respect, you know. Just get some trades. Instead of trading like 1 for 4 running away, trade 1 for 3 by sad facing the Nevsky. I mean, it is a 3-minute walk sad face for that Nevsky, so small wins for that individual. But yeah, the murder balls, the blue murder ball is getting a little bit distracted. There are a lot of random teleported cities, so they're just swarming down the marches around here. Looks like they're fighting around this Cry Fort. Cry Fort's still not full. So I'm guessing this is not a priority for them to fill. You saw me zeroed me once. I mean, that guy's account's crazy, so I saw the equipment that zeroed me, I guess. Okay. Oh, they are pushing left, so they're probably gonna try to reconvene with their second murder ball on the left side here. Their second murder ball on the left side, starting to find some resistance. If you guys remember this area, this is where 960 and 2489 open fielded for like 4 days straight. This like one corner. I'm getting some like PTSD watching this KVK low-key. It's like, oh yeah, I remember that spot. I remember when we were here. Oh god. Hey, morning, GG. I did not get kicked from 60 GT, so I will be staying for at least one KVK. Nice. Nah, I did pretty well. I think I was like 70th in DKP, so kind of in the middle of the pack. And that was after like not having that much to play with in terms of resources and speeds, and also the KVK wasn't the best. So hopefully in future KVKs I could at least hit the top 50, but we'll see. Yeah, these guys are getting overrun on this side. On this side, it looks like the murder ball is still trying to collide with the blue side here. But you can see all the blue marches now coming through, trying to cut off the right murder ball of their opponents. Yeah, it's pretty funny though. People were genuinely asking if I'd get kicked, but I think we did pretty decently. It's so funny because this zone 4 is huge, but the Kingsland's so small. So it's like a stark contrast from one to the other. So if you're blue, what would you do here? You probably engage into this murder ball, try to route these guys. Oh, they're getting sandwiched. Oh, wow. I don't know where these guys came from, but they should 100% sandwich this ball before the ball on the right or on the left side decides to go right and try to sandwich them. It looks like these guys don't really have that intention right now. Looks like these guys are just content with filling their fort, which, you know what, is fair. Fill your fort. But the blue forts seem to already have the advantage in terms of the amount of troops inside of them. So that's a bad sign for their opponents. That's a bad sign for the red side. And there you go. The sandwich has started. They already have marches behind them, just waiting to corral them. And this is going to be an absolute wipe for blue. They have the numbers advantage. They have the positioning advantage. The red team desperately trying to push down into the sandwich, which honestly is probably the best course of action. But look at the sad face train. Oh my goodness. That is absolutely insane. And this kind of reminds me of Osiris League with the Chinese server teams, where they would overstack one lane, like the inside lane, for example, to the desert altar, and just insta-wipe all of those marches, and then circle around, go to the outside lane, and then insta-wipe all of those marches. Because 2906 and their allies here balled everyone up together. They balled everyone in the same murder ball. And what that allows you to do is that allows you to win in an overwhelming majority, to the point where you're still healthy enough to fight the other murder ball that's on the left side here. And that's exactly what they'll probably do. They'll finish up these guys. They'll wipe these guys. And look at that 4-minute walk timer, 4.5 minute, 5-minute walk timer for these guys. So they will not be out in the open field for quite some time. This is an absolutely huge win for 2906, and I'm sure these guys are kind of wondering why they did not decide to murder ball in the same light, because now they are starting to retreat and will probably start pushing to the murder ball at this structure here. Now this is still a pretty sizable ball, but the fact that half of their murder ball already sad faced, in my opinion, shows that this is just bad timing. If they did this when this murder ball was still alive, they would have a lot more of a better chance. They would be able to kind of sandwich the blue murder ball here. But now blue is essentially sad faced half of the murder ball, and now is going to be fighting the other side, and they should still be completely healthy. They should have the numbers advantage because they're able to sad face the other half of the murder ball. But let's see if the red team here will be able to redeem themselves and kind of prove me wrong here. But if this is anything like Osiris League, the numbers game, because of the numbers of the red side, half of them are already sad faced. Meanwhile, blue team still having everyone around. This should be yet another wipe, and they are starting to push. There's still a lot of marches from the red side streaming in. I guess you could say the same thing with the blue. But overall, this is going to be an advantageous... I think it will be advantageous to the blue team. Let's see. You can kind of tell how the murder ball is doing, who has the advantage based off of if the murder ball is pushing towards the red side or towards the blue side here. And it looks like blue's continuing to push up, so that means that they are winning this murder ball. They just have too many numbers. Red team really blundered their opening murder ball by splitting it in half and allowing the blue team here just to wipe one of the murder balls and wipe the other murder ball pretty much with no consequence. Just staying together has been the strategy for 2906 and their allies. And I mean, for their opponents here, they probably are wishing that they did the exact same thing. Although this murder ball is a lot more closer than the first one. Perhaps because the blue murder ball was a bit, you know, they did get injured in that initial murder ball fight, but you could see that the blue team continuing to push into the red team's territory here. Of course, there's also no there's no sandwich, so they're able to kind of create their own space, which is why this murder ball is lasting so long. But overall, I still think this will be a 2906 and their allies W. They're in different coalitions, so it'll get dicey in ball fights, I guess. But the question is, why weren't they in the same coalition then? You know what I mean? Because 2906 and their allies were able to be in the same coalition. But hindsight's 2020, so. Yeah, probably to drop more forts. I guess, like, what would the solution be then, right? It would be have the farm accounts in one coalition, have the main accounts in the other coalition, so that you don't compromise your murder ball. Because this has definitely compromised their building. This murder ball is over now. Let's see the repercussions of it. This has 2 hours 30 minutes on it. This has 2 hours 17 minutes. So they'll have 15 minutes to swarm down this building fort. This fort up here has 3 hours. This is not going to build. This fort up here has 11 hours. This fort is absolutely not going to build. This fort over here has 2 hours 28 minutes. And this fort has 2 hours 35 minutes. So overall, like, the blue team definitely got a little bit of an advantage in terms of build time. But luckily this is not Kingsland, and this is a zone 5. Because if this is Kingsland, this would be super bad, because then they would be losing a ton of territory with their flag lines. But because this is zone 5, and essentially what you're looking for is the fort timers here, I don't think it'll mean too much. But yeah, you could see that they got absolutely routed because they split the murder ball in half, which, I mean, the merit of splitting the murder ball in half there would be, okay, you have a murder ball on the right side that's distracting the main murder ball, and hopefully the murder ball on the left side will be able to fill up the forts to the point where you would be able to build them before your opponents, but that's just not the case. That's just not the case right now. I will say though, the flags over here are getting pretty delayed, and these flags are super important. You want to make sure you get your flags built as fast as possible so that you could burn these forts before Skillful Craftsman's over. But the red team here have been very diligent in terms of putting their forts down, forcing their opponents to build these half flags. So all things considered, slightly favored right now to blue team because of their open field dominance and their open field control. That's definitely a morale win, but there isn't going to be too much gained in terms of objectives. Now what I'm looking from the red team is, let's see if they put their murder ball together, if they will have the exact same results, or if they will be a bit more competitive against the blue team murder ball. Once the forts finish, I assume they'll join the coalition together. Yeah. I think, in my opinion, they were like, oh, this kingdom do this, this kingdom do that, rather than, okay, our coalition together will push this. And that's kind of what happened. Where it was kingdoms essentially running into the murder ball and sad facing versus the coalition of 2906 being together and, you know, pushing in. Oh, wow. There's a ton of people streaming this KVK, by the way. Shout out to all the viewers watching our particular coverage of this KVK. Just wanted to support the homies in 2906. So I'm probably a little bit biased with my coverage, but that's okay. You can see that some of the murder ball now coming through from the red team. And in all honesty, the flags are looking pretty favored towards the red team, I think. Although they are all half flags. Oh man, the fourth thing is like so annoying to play against. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flags out of the pass versus, if we look at this, we got 1. Ooh, why is it lagging? Hello? 1, 2. Bro, I swear whenever I scroll into cities, my game just like, the frames just die. I don't know why. But yeah, they have like 4 flags, 5 flags as well. Let me just never do that again, I guess. But yeah, you can see that this is a huge murder ball, just going from side to side, seeing wherever their opponents are. Look at all the farm accounts here, though. That's pretty crazy. Or the main accounts here as well. 89 million power random teleporting. Yeah, that guy's ballsy. That guy's ballsy. If you had open field advantage as a kingdom, it makes sense, but I don't know, man. That's pretty cocky. Oh, there's a city swarm? I probably missed it. I probably missed it, huh? Yeah. They already teleported out. I was thinking about getting Lapu Lapu for my city. I don't know. For the recharge. I was thinking about it and I'm like, no, I'll do Cordoba. Whatever. Yeah, 2906 has really good leadership. They were giving 9PT a run for their money in KL. Yeah, I mean, 2906, their last KVK, definitely showed that they are a very well-run A-seed KD, probably one of the top A-seed kingdoms. So it isn't really a surprise that they're performing well in this pass opening for sure. But you would hope 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flags, perhaps. Yo, these half flags are crazy though. The objective for the red side is to try to delay the flags for as long as possible, so that this fort could build. This is their main fort that they want to build. They got 2 hours 10 minutes on that. Their opponents have 2 hours 10 minutes on their fort as well. This is actually, wow, they're actually ahead. I don't know how they did that. Probably got like a 1 troop in there, but now they are actually ahead in terms of the fort building, which is absolutely huge for them. I don't think this, I mean, this fort might build as well. We'll have to see. But this fort's the farthest away from their opponents. I don't know, man. It'll be interesting. 960 was able to burn the 2489 fort with their flags. But I don't know if 2906 will be able to burn it. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. It's gonna be a race against time. How long does Skillful Craftsman last again? I know this is a new question to ask. Is it an hour or is it 30 minutes? Because if it's an hour, then they're already halfway through their Skillful Craftsman. I think it's an hour. $30 minutes? Is it 30 minutes? Oh man, then Skillful Craftsman's almost done for you guys now. Ooh. I'm pretty sure it's an hour, yeah. I'm like, 30 minutes seems pretty short. So if they do not get their flag line up there by the hour, then this zone is definitely going to be a lot more competitive than the 960-2049 zone. What happened in the 960-2049 zone, just in case you guys are wondering why that KVK kind of became what it was, is because 960 was able to burn all of the forts outside of this 3% all damage. And once we were able to burn all the forts, build forts around this 3% all damage, 2489 knew that, you know, it's kind of over. Like, there's nothing you could do. Unless you want to zero yourselves into the forts, which, you know, in a first zone is really, really unwise. Like, yeah, there's nothing we could do. So, we essentially won this zone in like 3 hours, 4 hours. That could be a similar situation here for the blue team, for 2906 and their allies, because, I mean, they have the opportunity, they have the open field to continue to build down through this way, to burn these forts, and then kind of end this zone early. But, I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Hey, Jonathan, appreciate it. Honestly, I feel like I'm really rusty in commentating, so we're getting these KVK watching streams will help me for the Osiris League season that's coming up. When I face 1696 and SO and Storms of Stratagems, they drop like 12 forts to continue blocking our flag pathing. Most frustrating thing to deal with. Yeah, I think 2429 for us when we were in 2268, when we were versing in Heroic Anthem. That was probably the most forts placed down for flag pathing. And that's why getting your alliance credits up is super, super important. And that's why right now in 960, or in 60 AE right now, like we're not even in 60 GT. We're in 60 AE just getting our alliance credits up for the next KVK. Murder Ball getting a little bit split here. The call is definitely to go right, but some people seeing the KP over here on the left side, trying to chase that. But we have to keep in mind, this is a Murder Ball that's been up for quite some time. A lot of these people were not able to refresh. This is going to be a fresh Murder Ball coming from the red side, although it is a lot smaller in terms of numbers. Now the question is this going to be the tail of the KVK where 2906 just has the number advantage, and the red team just continuously pummeling in with their fresh refreshes, or if this is just, you know, or is this just this zone where the balls are split up for the red side? So they do have some people coming in from the left, hitting these arrow towers. Arrow towers are undefended. At least that's going to be a moral victory over here. There's actually... Sad facing an arrow tower in Rise of Kingdoms is probably one of the most satisfying things. Maybe I'm just a siege hater, but I feel like there's a glee, there's a joy when you see an arrow tower that was just hitting you for free. Just start getting sad faced. So this is going to be a moral victory for them, but overall, a victory thus far for the blue side again in this murder ball. Third murder ball getting sad faced for the red side. And this is going to be how this zone happens. This is going to be what happens this zone. This is going to be the same results over and over and over again. Unless the red side decide to murder ball all of the troops up and face this blue team murder ball. Let me see. Is there a murder ball on the right, on the left side again? Or is they're just still refreshing? They're probably just still refreshing, to be honest. Which is crazy. We saw some of those refreshes when we were looking at the sad faces. Some of the refreshes were like taking 10 minutes or no, 5 minutes. Oh wait, this person needs to be in interesting. I think that person needs to be in my old KD, I think. In 2136, right? Was that? I forget. Coffee HP, definitely a familiar name, at least for me. But yeah, the murder ball continuing to be blue side favored. Although they are getting pretty low. These guys are getting pretty low. And in all honesty, even in Kingsland, but more so exaggerated in this zone, the murder ball fights realistically don't really matter until you get the territory down. This is just kind of an ego, a morale thing. Unless you're able to delay the flag builds, which either side has not been able to do with the murder ball. I will say though, these flags for the red side are getting very, very close. Getting very, very close. 06 GT. I thought I was tripping for a second. Seeing a 60 GT for it, getting some flashbacks. But if we look at the flag lines right now, I still think it is in the blue side's favor, but slightly. But slightly. We are approaching 40 minutes until the stream started. So probably 30 minutes on Skillful Craftsman. The question of this zone is, will either side be able to get their forts down around the objective? And whomever is able to get the most forts or secure that objective wins this zone, essentially. I played with the SC group before I quit, but hope they have some fun and kick some ass. Yeah, I mean, the SC group looks really, really strong, not gonna lie. 2906 looks really, really strong. Captain Hook, I love when people assume Siege is easy to kill, then my Gaja face tanks them while their marches are melted by everyone else. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Because I think like there was like some players that were like top 10, top 20 in Lost Canyon that use siege marches. And those siege marches are like an anomaly. It's so hard to decide what to do against those siege marches in Lost Canyon. So if you're in Lost Canyon and siege marches are tanky and you can't really swarm them down or whatnot, then you can imagine how in the open field. How does the other fight look? We could take a look at the other side of the map. Let me go change to Wessex. I don't know which side of Wessex is, but I do know it's here somewhere. Which way is Wessex? It's this bottom side. Okay. Looks to be a very similar situation where they're just trying to build around this this area here. It does look like overall, though, in terms of the murder ball, Wessex having the advantage around the temple or around the objective. In fact, I can't even find... There you go. I was about to say I can't even find the white murder ball, but they are murder balling up on this side. But that indicates to me that the blue team here won the initial murder ball, and the white team here, the white/red team is re-balling up to give it another go. But yeah, this area is going to be very, very important. Trying to make sure that they get this 3% all damage. This is essentially what they're fighting for. But yeah, let's go ahead and go back to the top side here. I think this top side is actually smaller than the bottom. I might be wrong. But I feel like that this bottom side, it's the lane is so long. Like, it's such a long map versus over here where I feel like they are closer to the main objective. I might be wrong though. That might just be placebo. Oh, there you go. 2906 now using their open field to try to slow down the flag line. This is exactly what you want to see. Because just sad facing your opponents over and over again is like good for the morale, good for the trades, but doesn't really do much as terms of like for your objectives. But if you have the open field advantage against your opponents, you could just push your open field onto the building flag. Try to at least delay the flags for as long as possible. This is gonna be pretty big, because if it's a matter of inches, to be honest. This is a matter of seconds. But it looks like they were able to put down the flag. They do have some marches in the back here, so the flag will be built. Oh, someone left. West Coast Beast left the flag. So, like, this probably delayed the flag for like 15 seconds, 20 seconds. Which is honestly all you're looking for, because you just want to get an advantage for your flags personally to get into this area. And they're getting very, very close. They are getting very, very close. But so are these guys. But I think they're kind of like a flag ahead right now. If you were 2906 though, I'd probably fight off territory. Like, fight on the building flag. Are they filling this as well? No, they're not. I think what 60 GT did was we had a garrison in there. Just so that they don't get to free burn it. They actually had to rally it, and once a rally came, we emptied it out. So we didn't have to take just meaningless deaths. Because that'll delay it by a little bit, but this flag will be able to bypass the fort anyways and build left, so it's not the end of the world. And this is the initial murder ball, by the way, of 2906, now getting sad-faced off of their territory. It is a little bit of an overextension by them. And I said that I liked the fact that they're using their open field advantage to slow down the flag, but they didn't have to push that far into their zone. But again, that is hindsight. And I also understand the fact that you want to get as much KP as possible. Going on into their territory is how you get it. They do have some reinforcements coming through. They have a back fort on this side. I'm gonna be curious if they decide to put a fort on this side as well, because they will still be able to bypass those two forts. And you can see the left side murder ball now converging into this area. So this is going to be priority number 1 for the red team, and this is actually a good play from them, just leveraging the open field that they now have. Oh, there you go. There's the reinforcements coming in from the blue side. But now they had the advantage. They had the momentum earlier. Pushed a little bit too far. And the red team's pouncing. They're able to now have open field control. This is the first time they've had open field control in this zone. They have a good flag here that's going to be building in 2 minutes. And they will have the opportunity to build to the left, closer and closer to this main objective. So this is the first time we've seen the red side fight back, and they now have a numbers advantage. Oh man, they now have a numbers advantage. I will say though, these sad face marches probably will now be able to teleport onto territory. They will have faster refreshes. But this is what I was saying. They need to combine their murder balls in and start fighting. And this is exactly what they're doing. They're doing it at the right time. Now, is it too little too late is the main question. Let's see. Because even if they wipe this ball, what matters is the flag line. This flag line is still building. Is still in the lead in terms of where it is compared to their opponents. And they are getting these huge murder ball victories, but now they have to translate that into some pressure on the flag line. But blue team here holding steadfast, trying to hold on to this position, but getting overwhelmed. A lot of these marches are very, very low. A lot of them haven't sad face since the pass opened. And you can see now that red team just with sheer numbers able to push out the blue side. Able to push out the blue side. So the blue side now, they have to regroup. They have to reball up. Now that the red team has kind of turned on the skill switch and started balling up. It's like ARAM in League of Legends. Everyone just run it down in the same lane. And that's what worked for 2906, and that's currently what's working for the red side as well, 2217. LX17 is the kingdom of note that I know from all of these, from the red side. So the red side now having open field advantage. Let's see what they decide to do with it. Let's see how blue side responds. They're probably murder balling up elsewhere on the map. Yeah, this is a stream of blue sad faces, which gives hope for the red side. This is exactly what they want to see. Blue side, perhaps you're not feeling too bad because you've been out in the open field for quite some time. But this is still a pretty big victory for the red side. I will say that they are making it annoying to sad face them. There's some marches here that are literally pulling all of these marches down. Ghosting over here. Just pulling all of the marches down. Pulling them away from the main objective, which is this area here. But we're talking about the forts. Look at the flag line. Oh my goodness, the flag line is super close now. They're going to be able to burn this fort with the flag line as well once his flag builds. And once his fort burns, they'll be able to build up and around here. How many flags away are they? They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flags perhaps away from this fort here. Will they have enough time with Skillful Craftsman? How much more time do they have? Perhaps like 15, 20 minutes? If they consistently just insta-fill the flags, they should have time to build the flags. And you can see the blue team now murder balling up in front of where they want to build the flag. This is very important. They're playing very defensive, which when you don't have open field advantage, when you don't have the momentum, is super important. Oh man, if you're this city, an 85 million power player with the murder ball just surrounding you, you're like parting the Red Sea. You're like Moses right now. You're in the eye of the hurricane, essentially. I'd be hella nervous if I was this guy, but the red team have bigger and better things to do. They want to make sure that they delay these flags. They're able to defend the fort, because even if the flag's touching, as long as they have open field, they won't be able to burn down this fort, which is what they want to do. They want to at least delay the fort burn as much as possible with their open field. Now we're talking about the blue team. They do have a murder ball here, but will it be enough? I think a lot of their marches are still walking through. A lot of their marches sad faced and are still trying to walk around. And look, they actually have a murder ball at the pass, so they can't even walk out of the pass. They have a lot of cities still outside of this pass. So this is actually, like, you would say these guys are KP chasing, but this is actually, you know, pretty impactful here. Delaying the cities that are still buying the pass. Oh my goodness. Again, I'm never zooming into cities ever again, I guess. I need a new processor or something. They were able to get a couple marches out, but they were able to delay some of the marches that are still buying the pass. Some of the cities are still buying the pass. And now this is going to be a huge murder ball, where the red side, in all honesty, they have the numbers advantage when they've been numbers disadvantaged up to this point. What will 2906 decide to do? Will they hold their ground, or will they pull back so that they can get more reinforcements? They have some reinforcements on the way, but I don't know if it'll be enough. And this is exactly what I was talking about in the pass opening. The red team, all they needed to do was pool all of their troops together so that they could go head to head against the blue team. Now that they're here, this is looking really dicey for the blue side. Some people are starting to pull back. I don't know if that's a call or if that's just... Is there a marker, or is that just like an individual player saying, okay, we should probably pull back? It looks like, though, the call for the blue side is to stand their ground. What a ballsy call. They are probably down 1-3 in terms of numbers, maybe 1-2. The reinforcements are still coming through, but this is going to be the inverse situation of what we just saw, where blue side had the numbers advantage. They're able to sad face the red side's murder ball super fast before the other murder ball came, and they essentially brought the two murder balls into like 1v1s each time, where they had numbers advantage. Now that it's completely inverse, where you could see that the blue side absolutely getting swarmed down, absolutely have the numbers disadvantage. And with the numbers disadvantage, you would assume that they'd be sad facing. But in all honesty, right now, it looks pretty decent. It looks pretty decent for them. They're playing pretty smart. They have a couple players tanking. I'm guessing those players have cities nearby, so it's all good for them to tank. In all honesty, blue team performing a lot better than I thought they would in this murder ball situation. Although a lot of them are sad facing, red team still having the advantage. But will blue team be able to hold off until the reinforcements arrive? There's a huge chunk now coming through. There's also a couple coming through on the top side as well. Oh my goodness, this is actually a very close murder ball fight. Although you could see the splurge of blue. It's probably 1-3 in terms of sad faces, similar to the numbers in this murder ball. And even though the blue side have the advantage in terms of flags, have the advantage in terms of tempo, they do not have the advantage in terms of open field. They're not building a flag on this southern side. Pretty interesting choice. I would assume that this would be the higher priority so they could cut off the flag line of their opponents, defend your flags, try to burn your opponents, opting in to go towards the top side instead. But you could see that the sad faces from the blue side just continuing to stream. All right, let's see what box is showing me. Oh, interesting. So the blue team actually have split up their troops this time compared to the red side. And now they're delaying the flag builds down here. Interesting. That was their play. They're saying, okay, you're pushing into our territory. We have more refresh advantage on this side. So you're just whittling yourself while we slow down your flag build. That is very, very interesting. And the reason why this is different from what the red side did is when they split up their marches, they weren't really able to do too much. They're able to fill their forts, I guess. But delaying the flag builds is going to be very, very important. Shout out to Box for that. I was wondering where the numbers were of blue went. They decided to split. And it looks like they have a lot of numbers just making sure that their flag is building on this side as well. I'm still surprised that they didn't decide to build down though. Perhaps trying to save on crystals, perhaps trying to save on resources with this one flag line, because this flag line, especially with the half flags, oh, they're probably just gonna build with this shell down here. UO4F probably gonna build down here. Okay, that makes sense. It's just that shell's a bit delayed, but that's all good. Overall, this is a win for red team, but will blue team be able to? This is like, in my opinion, this is kind of like when a team all-ins arc, and then in the meantime, the enemy team's taking the altars. You know what I mean? In Osiris League, if we were to make this in Osiris League terms. Because they're making this very, very annoying. Did they delete the fort? I think they did. Looks like they deleted the fort. I mean, I think this will be pretty successful for them. So this isn't blue just having less numbers, but it's more so blue allocating their troops elsewhere on the map. And man, this is gonna be, oh my goodness, they are like right there. This is 30 seconds on this flag. They'll be able to burn this fort, and then they should be able to build one more flag to burn the main forts touching. Oh no, this is gonna be absolutely, this is gonna be horrible for the red side. And wow, they had to build yet another half flag. Okay, is it just me, or is the right side, top right side, more are they advantaged in this map? Because this is pretty much exactly how the 960 2489 building situation went down as well, where we were able to get our flags down really, really quickly compared to the opponents. Perhaps it's also because we had open fields similar to the blue team here, but yeah, they just dropped another fort, Eru. That is pretty crazy. The KP calculating tool. That's a Cubist mic thing. The Cubist mic tool, right? It's the mail thingy. What you call it? The report simulator thing. Yeah, let me see if I can get a link for you. If I could ever Shout out Cubus Mike. I always will. Like, it's pretty cool. And let me go ahead and turn on streamer mode. Forget ping. Alright, back to the KVK. How are things doing? They are delaying the flag builds here. Very, very frustrating for their opponents because I feel like for them it's like, yo, we won the murder ball, but at what cost? Because this murder ball right now is not really doing anything. It's not delaying the flags. The flags are still building really, like, are still building fine. They have 1 minute left on this flag, and this is going to be the first fort that burns touching this area here. Oh my goodness. If I were these guys, you'd probably start murder balling up here so that they can't burn down the fort, right? Try to delay as much as possible. But at the same time, you're not allowing your flags to build. It's such a lose-lose situation for the red side. An absolutely huge play from the blue team here, where they saw the bigger picture. They're like, all right, let's just delay with our open field as much as possible. And that's an indication of good leadership and a good trust in the leadership too by the members. Being in VC, following the calls, having a contingent of murder ball of forces in that area. It does look like they're following my call though, the red side, where they are going to be going up here, trying to defend this fort, trying to make sure they don't free burn it, trying to at least make sure that the blue side will have to rally it. It looks like they're also trying to delay the flags coming up on this side as well. Man, this is like a tactical KVK right now, where each side is, you know, throwing jabs at each other, trying to see what the other side does. 1 second, there you go. The fort is now swarmable. They are swarming it. It's a Ragnar in there. It's a Ragnar Prime. They do not have a garrison. I repeat, they do not have a garrison in here. They do have some open field though. Will they decide to fill this fort? This fort is getting so low. They're just insta swarming the fort, and the fort's down. The fort is down. No garrison, no open field, no fort. A huge W from the blue team here. Now able to continue their flagging, their flagging here. How much longer do they have skillful craftsmen? Maybe 10 minutes. I think in 10 minutes they will be able to at least put a flag down on this side and contest. This is the main fort that the red team is trying to keep alive. They're swarming a player. They're swarming a player. They saw a 78 million power player random teleported in. Kenny dies in South Park, gonna die in game as well. But this is a very, very strong garrison, by the way. It's an Eleanor. Is it an Eleanor with Heraclius? I don't know if swarming down the 78 million power player is exactly what you guys want to do if you're the red side. Oh, these guys are committed to it. Oh my goodness. I mean, if you have 165 million power, I guess, you know, just swarm down this random guy. It's like, you know, it reminds me of, like, their fort got swarmed. They're like, damn it, let me like punch something on the way out. They just punched Kenny. Just started swarming down his city for no reason. It's just like, I have no idea what that was about, but I feel like it's like a rage swarm. Oh my goodness. Ragnar P new meta garrison. Is it really? I don't think so. Yeah, that was like a rage swarm. You know, like That's Amari Stoudemire punching the fire extinguisher in the playoffs, so he's injured for the rest of the game. That's like that's like what's going on over there. Although the murder ball is still looking pretty juicy for the red side on this side. They are delaying the flags here. So perhaps, I don't know. This is like 2 flags away. I think this is still gonna go down. But I will say though, if I look around the map, I see a lot more white and red dots than I see blue. The open field's contested, but I still think it is in 2217's favor. And I'm gonna guess that they have a garrison ready this time for this fort. They have the open field in front of it at least. So now they're making their opponents have to decide, do we continue to open field and try to build these flags out, or do we try to build these flags out, which would require us to rally down this fort as well as clear the open field? I mean, right now they don't have to make that decision, so it's pretty clear that they want to clear this open field down here first. But once this flag builds and they build the next flag, they will start to, you know, have to make a decision like, well, where do we decide to go here? This is really interesting. There's a murder ball, 2 murder balls down here clashing. There's a murder ball up here just denying this murder ball up here. What this is like tactical gameplay. I feel like I'm watching someone play like Command and Conquer or like StarCraft or like some MOBA right now, where this is like a platoon of soldiers here. Oh wow, interesting. They decided to split it up. Some people went down to support these guys, while some people went up to delay these guys. These guys are like the sacrificial lambs, I guess, because they do have enough numbers disadvantage. They are getting pushed back. And if this is a war of attrition, I think the blue team will, you know, be favored because they have the closer teleport space. If that's what it comes down to, then the blue team will be favored because they have the closer teleport space. The blue ball stopping the flag line is sad face now. So now that blue ball is trying to make sure that their own flag line builds. This is the remnants of that blue ball. They're trying to make sure that this flag line builds, so get 2 more flags, burn this fort, because their skillful craftsman should be over like very soon if it's not already over. They could maybe get 1 more flag down with skillful. Oh my goodness. This is actually a very interesting zone. Shout out to both camps for making this super entertaining. And you know, most of the time like, when you're watching in KVK, you're like, why'd they do this? Why'd they do that? Like, at least I am. In this case, I could understand the rationale behind every decision each side made. It's been a very strategic KVK. And both sides' leadership should be proud of what they've been able to accomplish so far. But man, does it look like 2906 and their allies right now having the advantage in terms of flags. And I don't know if that's a map thing or if that's just the initial open field that they had. Who are the allies? Yeah, let me go ahead and bring up. Let me make sure I get this right. It's 2906, 3379, and 3358 are the blue that we're watching. And 2638, 2217, and 1881 are the red that we're watching. But yeah, the blue team absolutely winning out in the open field right now. Do they still have skillful is my question. Looks like they do on this side, but I don't know if they will have enough skillful go all the way down here. I mean, it's going to be like, what, 15 minutes without skillful to build a flag. So they should be able to get down here, but it won't be as fast. And they'll have like maybe like an hour, 30 minutes to defend this fort. And look, they do have a flag line coming from the other pass. So it is still possible that they could defend this fort even with the flag touching. I think this fort will burn. The flag lines are too far, but they do have the support of the flags on this left side. So after this flag builds and after this fort burns, I think all of the attention will start to be shifted to this bottom side, if I had to guess. Yeah, 3379 have a ton of KP, have a lot of power, are very, very strong allies for 2906 and 3358. The thing that's tough about camps is that it's very hard to decipher what each kingdom is doing because, you know, they're all blue, they're all in the same camp. So I'd be curious to see how each camp does after each zone here. But yeah, I mean, it looks like the blue side as a whole is doing really well. Alright, they are pushing pretty far. Do they have enough for this, though? This is my question. This is going to be the main objective, in my opinion. Burn down this fort. Clear out the murder ball. Because these guys are pushing pretty far. They have a lot of numbers going down there, which is good. But what does that do long term? I guess it creates space for them to continue building this flag. But this flag line will be stunted a little bit, especially with the amount of open field coming through for the red team here. They do have some open field coming through, but I don't know if it'll be enough, guys. I don't know if it'll be enough. If you're the red side, this fort is your win condition. This fort, if you build this fort, then you are in contention for this. And that's what matters to you. But if you don't build this fort, then it'll be very, very hard to contest the 3% all damage. Especially if your opponents decide to build a fort, which we decided to do in this corner, cutting it off. So I don't know, guys. This is going to be very, very close. It looks like to me the red side understand that that is their main objective. That is their main priority. Bringing a lot of numbers up here. And now the flag has been built, but the fort is still alive and strong. If they're able to hold this fort for like maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes, it could be possible that they won't have enough time to build the flags down to this fort. So this is an absolutely huge, huge hold for the red side. Because the longer they're able to hold this, the longer they're able to delay the blue side from going down to their main objective. And this is a back and forth murder ball here. Again, the point of the red side murder ball here isn't to push. All they want to do is hold. You want to stay as healthy as possible. You want to just threaten your opponents. Try to get good trades. You don't need to push. You don't need to sad face unless you're a close city. Ooh, someone accidentally swarming the city over here. You love to see 108 million power players, so that should be pretty punishing the swarm. And this is going to be a pretty big hold from the red team. If the red team's able to build that fort in the bottom left, you could attribute that to this hold that they're doing right now on this fort. And now at this point, the blue team will probably have to rally down this fort. They probably have a rally set on it already. The blue team is starting to get more reinforcements, but so is the red side. This is a situation where for both sides, you need to sad face your marches. You need to sad face your marches. You can't just, you know, walk back home. Because this essentially means if you win, if you're blue side, this essentially means if you win out in terms of this structure, in terms of 3% all damage, and for the red side, it means if you could contest this structure once it goes live, once it launches, once it unlocks. But there you go. Both sides absolutely putting in the troops here. I think this will be long enough for them to delay the build where it won't have skillful craftsmen. So it will be a full 18 to 20 minutes for this flag to build once it comes down. And the flag can only be built when this fort's burnt. And this fort is still alive and well with the open field around it. Oh my goodness. I gotta put this up to a poll. What fort is this? What fort is this? This is the LX-17 fort. The AP06 fort does not build before this fort. Oh, I guess it builds like four minutes before. Wow, I don't know how they did that, but they keep manipulating the time. Before it was like barely anything, but now it does build like 3-4 minutes before. Well, let's put up a poll. Let's put up a poll. Will the LX-17 fort red bottom really? Yes or no? That's gonna be the question of the KVK, of this zone rather. This KVK is still up for grabs, but for this zone, if they're able to build this fort, then that would be absolutely a huge win for them. They could then fall asleep for like, I don't know, 2 days until the area opens, and then contest the 3% all damage.
Weird anyway.
It's going to be a very, very, very close zone here, guys. I don't know. I don't know. If I had to choose, with the way things are going, I think the fort will burn. They now have open field advantage. The blue team now putting their sights in this top left corner. And yeah, this fort's literally about to burn as well. This is about to burn. They have an hour and a half to burn this fort. I think they'll be able to do it. Or hour 20 minutes. I think they'll be able to do it, but it'll be close. I don't know. From what I've seen thus far in this zone, blue team has been able to win open field when they need to. But it'll be close. Give us 2 minutes at SC Wally. Now this fort is about to burn as well.
Stonks.
They have the flag line coming in from Cry. Now the main question is, will they be able to build flags down here? I think building flags down here would be absolutely huge so that you could get more teleport space. This is actually like a mirror of our KVK. Except this fort just got insta-swarmed. But in terms of territory, this is actually like a direct mirror from the 1960s 2049 KVK. This fort is getting rallied down. I guess that makes sense. No need to like get free deads. This fort probably has a rally on it coming very, very soon. So once they build this, they got 1 flag, 2 flag, which will take like what, 30 minutes? Once 30 minutes build, they'll have like 50 minutes to burn down this fort. Now I will say, their opponents do have open field. They will have some refreshes here. They do have some flags in the back. They will be able to have at least some refreshes. I don't know if it'll be enough though. We'll have to see. Still waiting on the rally up there. Still waiting on the rally down here. But this has been blue dominance now. It's been a pendulum going back and forth in terms of... Oh, there you go. The fort rally is now coming through. It's been a back and forth pendulum of open field control where one side wins and then they stay out on the open field and then they get sad faced and then the other side's winning. But overall, it's been a back and forth, but I feel like it's been pushing more towards the blue's favor than red side. We're going to go ahead and watch this fort rally. Looks like it's going to get insta-swarmed as well. Oh, it canceled. They canceled it. Okay. And then we got the OWR fort down here as well. What are these chords? Let's see. 4, 7, 9. Ooh, they got some open field coming through. On this top side. Oh, I guess the blue side had some open field down there. They're now building this flag. How long will it take? There's no skillful craftsman on this, I'd assume. That has to be top priority for them right now. Is this AP? Wow. I'm actually really impressed by the flag placements by these guys. Not gonna lie. Because if you... I think the way it works is if you're the same alliance, you could place flags inside of the fort area. But if you're not the same alliance, you can't. I might be wrong, but... Yeah, this is definitely not skillful craftsman. There's 22 minutes on that. And then they'll have to build another flag before they start threatening that fort. This fort down here, though, is getting rallied down. Looks like it's a Nevsky with who? Nevsky with Justinian. Interesting rally choice. I mean, it is serviceable. Still able to get the job done. Able to swarm down this fort. They are, like, hard filling it, but there you go. Fort down. That's huge. Now they could start claiming the territory down here, get some extra teleport space for themselves. And actually, they could technically build, they could technically build to the left if they wanted to. Interesting. There's like this small crevice in between this and this where you could build a flag line. Okay, they have 13 minutes on that flag. In all honesty, with the open field, how it looks like this fort's gonna burn. But people saying that this this fort will build, interesting. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. It's gonna be 30 minutes until that fort builds or burns or not. or whatnot. All right, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be back. All right, we back. We back. I'm extremely impressed with 2906 3379's field. Yeah, I am as well. Going to KVK rankings, 2217, 2638 had the most KP in the rankings. Third Kingdom with them is just 30 players. Maybe that's a factor. Oh, interesting. ST Wally said, "Stop! You're making us blush." I mean, you guys have been killing out in the open field. Not gonna lie. I mean, it's been mostly blue. It's been mostly blue. And if you guys want to look at the rankings pre KVK, I think. Here, wait. Let me pull this up while there's no rallies going on and they're building flags still. You could see that 2638 at 1.1 trillion, 2217 at 800 billion, and then 2906 at 890 billion, and then 3379 at 640 billion. Like, if you were to see this matchup, you would assume that just off of the KP that this camp would be favored. Although you could see they only have 9.3 billion here versus the 16.8 billion here. So perhaps that's the difference right now in terms of numbers, as chat was alluding to. Results for their pre-KVK. I don't know what their results of pre-KVK was, but I'd assume that 2906 was first because they got the all damage. Their 308 was second. Okay, I guess that makes sense because they got the field damage. So yeah, we're essentially just waiting for these flags to build. We got 9 minutes and then got one more flag, and then they will be able to swarm down this fort or rally down the fort. Apparently there's some drama this KVK. I didn't know that. Apparently some people said this KVK would be easy or whatnot. Interesting. So there's like, I'd say there's even more motivation for you guys as to why you're kind of dominating this open field right now. Interesting. Tell me more. I know. I was talking to Duke yesterday. Apparently, 2906 and 1079 have a lot of members that are in both KDs. So. Yeah, good thing they have a good matchup this time. It's funny because that's what people were saying against 2489 when we were versing them. It's like, yes, finally, 2489 is fighting someone their own size. But yeah, essentially, if you guys don't know how the zone works, is once the blue side have full control of this structure, the zone's essentially over. The zone's essentially over. You don't really have much else to fight for. There's like this march speed down here, but this march speed is mirrored on the top side, so it's like you don't even need to fight for that. Even the bastions are mirrored on each side. So at least for the 960 2049 KVK, once we secured the 3% all damage, it's just an open field fiesta for like 4 days straight. Just people farming KP over and over and over again. Is King Schmuck streaming this? I don't know, is he? I guess he is. What's he streaming? Oh yeah, he's literally fighting in the open field. Oh, what KD is he in? Yeah, maybe we'll raid him once I done stream. I'm done stream. His 20th account? Oh god, how many accounts does he have? Shout out to all the people with multiple accounts. I don't know how y'all do that, man. I just play my main, and that's like already too much for me. How's 1079 doing? I guess we could take a look because they're just open fielding down here. Yeah, so this zone is definitely a lot longer in terms of flag lines. It takes a lot longer to go down here because 2906 is already at this structure here, and these guys are still approaching. And let's go Wessex. It looks like the 3308 side is winning. Uh-oh. Gotta load all the siege marches. It looks like the 3308 side's winning. They're pressuring, they're delaying the flag lines here. Meanwhile, their flag lines over here look pretty much uncontested. And they're actually about to burn one of the first forts here. So. Oh no, I hear my stomach growling. That's not good. That's no bueno. Get food. I'll get food in a bit. 8 billion KP in KVK2 normal? That's crazy. I don't know how you get 8 billion in KVK2. Yeah, 1079. The camp that's currently on the back foot, which is good for this KVK, I would say. If it's a 2 for 2 in the zone, that means that they'll be even going into KL. 8 billion KP is madness. How do you even get 8 billion KP in KVK2? Is there even that much fighting in KVK 1 and 2? I don't know, man. Maybe you gotta make an account in 4K. I'll make an account in 4K just to see what the new Rise of Kingdoms early game is like. Yeah, want a competitive KL, yeah, for sure. You definitely don't want a KVK like the 2377 or 1960 KVKs. I mean, the 1960 wasn't that bad, but it could have been better. Oh, they got betrayed. Okay. Then yeah, that's a lot of KP to... Oh my goodness. I'm curious how many speedups and resources that guy used. We've got 2 minutes, 30 seconds left on that flag. Then they got to build one more flag. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I like the fact that you don't have to, like, you can't migrate back to KVK2. I said it. I said it. I like the fact that people can't migrate back to KVK2 and KVK3. They lock that experience for new players. Because as a new player, the most disheartening thing was getting into KVK2 and just seeing all these old accounts. I mean, back when I played, it wasn't even capped. You could just migrate as many old accounts as you wanted. They changed it where there could be 40, but now there's nobody that can migrate back now, right? I feel like that's just so good for new players so that they could let the new players experience their new KVKs by themselves, you know? Let them grow up into KVK 5 and then they could get smacked. Oh. Oh, wait, can you still migrate back to KVK 2? Oh. I just remember talking to a lot of KVK 1 and 2 whales, and a lot of them quit because they didn't like the fact that they were essentially... They spent all this money, and then they get into a KVK 2, and they're just getting smacked by older accounts. You know what I mean? Anyways, as we look into this murder ball situation, it's looking more and more blue side favored. My goodness. Flag's building in 10 seconds. They're gonna insta build a flag. And this fort is looking more and more dire. I mean, they have a flag here. They will be able to teleport cities onto here. But I don't know if that'll be enough, guys. One minute left on that fort build. What a show by 2906 and their allies here. 3379, 3358. I'm gonna give all the KDs their props. But there you go. Flag's now building. Let's see the timer. Let's see the official timer. What a name. Barry McDonald's. It's gonna... I don't want to pronounce the whole name, but... Pretty crazy. They have their whales filling this flag, by the way. They got Panda X Study in there. So it's now 19 minutes. 19-minute timer until this zone's over. This is probably like a morale... This is a huge morale victory for the blue side. Pretty deflating for their opponents. Just look at the amount of marches here. This is crazy. What's my favorite commander for fun? Dragon Lancer. Oh wow, there's a lot of people spectating this KVK. I mean, honestly, that's good. That's good. In my opinion, I'm hoping that these KDs, like 2906, like 3308. I mean, 3308 is already up there. Like these KDs, they start making their way up to the Imperium bracket and start being these upcoming huge KDs that we could start fighting in 960 and 2377. Because, I mean, this is what I was told, right? Is that the high A seed bracket is way more competitive and way more fun to play than Imperium right now. Imperium, there's just like there's like 3 or 4 KDs that keep fighting each other over and over again, and all the other kingdoms, like, unfortunately, are just not a match. So if we could have kingdoms in this bracket start stepping up, start building up to be a big Imperium to fight, that'd be cool. Need better strategy planning and fewer KP chasers. Would I invest in Siege for fun? I'm thinking about it. I am thinking about it. For the recharge, I did get a Cordoba head, so. If you wanted to join in a KVK with 1093. Ooh, where are we going? Oh wow, this is a blue fort that's getting contested. The Cry Fort. I'm like, wait, 1 minute. They just built the flag. They have 11 minutes on this flag over here. And once this flag builds, that'll be GG's for this zone. I mean, it's not going to be over, but the objectives are essentially over. He's good at siege. Mr. Siege is good at siege. Yeah, he's crazy at siege. Also, Jay Towers is probably the best siege player in Rise of Kingdoms. That guy's crazy. And I'm lucky enough to have him in my KD as well. Jay Tower, yeah. That's what happened when all the big whales. Yeah, I mean, I know I'm part of the problem, but blame Redline. He's like, "Yo, I'll start a podcast if you come to 960." I'm like, "All right, that." All right, let's see. The murder ball is getting squished from the left and the top. Yeah, I checked out the 79 side. There is so many towers over there. A hundo P. This ball is getting sandwiched. If this was 960, they'd tell this ball to go behind down here and then push. You'd be like, go here, push. Yeah, they are getting sandwiched down. Yeah. I mean, as a member, I'm just the guy that's like, all right, whatever we get is what we get. You know what I mean? But as leadership, I could understand how it's probably frustrating to try to find a match. They got sandwiched, but they pulled back, which is smart. And now the murder ball is now in one area. So they could decide which side to push, left or right. Still pretty tough though. They do have the numbers disadvantage. They do have the territory advantage, so. Although half of the murder ball is actually not on their territory. Oh, they're sandwiching the sandwich over here. Look at that. I remember there's this one time where I was the guy that was late to the party. All my marches got sad faced and I just went to sleep. That was this KVK for me. It's like we would go into the middle of their territory, and then I would just get like 5 march cheeseburgered with Liu Che. All my marches would die, and then just die. Whatever, I'm just gonna go to sleep. Other Imperiums match up with small kingdoms. I thought to myself, Imperiums going back to bullying small ones again. Yeah. It do be like that. It's like one of those things, right, where if there's no matchup for the big Imperium KDs, I don't know. It's kind of backwards to me to blame the Imperiums. I feel like we should look at matchmaking more. You know what I mean? It's different for Rise of Kingdoms because, you know, people coordinate like good KVKs and all that kind of stuff, but it's come down to that because the matchmaking in the Rise of Kingdoms has been rough. And I guess it is hard for Rise of Kingdoms to matchmake kingdoms like 916, 2377 into a KVK where it's competitive, but LX Fort will finish. Let's see. 52 minutes. There is 7 minutes on the flag. So there's a chance, but with the open field that the blue side has, it's looking pretty unlikely. Trash talking is life. I feel like trash talking is okay as long as you don't get personal. Like at the end of the day, it's just a game, right? So. Was 2906 in that 1093 13 not 13 1093 961 v1. I actually don't know. I don't know what kingdoms are in the G. Yeah, there's like a fine line between trash talking and being an asshole, you know what I mean? You gotta tightrope across that line. But you can see the pockets here. There's just so much open field for the blue side. And they're just chasing the KP right now. Although you could see that LX17, they are not giving up in this zone. This is their last hurrah. This is their last stand. They want to make sure this warp builds. They got 50 minutes. They got 4 minutes until this build, so they'll have to hold it for 44 minutes. Is it probable? No. Is it impossible? No. They could still do this if their opponents don't. If their opponents kind of fall asleep in the wheel, you know what I mean? A built LX17 fort is gonna be so tedious for 2906 and their allies to deal with. So I think that's why you could see a lot of people here on the. There's not that many people here on the there's not that many red marches there, and most of the red marches are now coming to this LX17 fort because they know that this is the final stand for them. Stop gassing them up. Hey man, I'm trying to make it interesting. I'm trying to make it interesting. All I'm saying is this builds, then this is going to be super annoying for you guys to burn. 3 million troop capacity in a fort with a bunch of farm accounts and 2 garrison leads. In 906, I'm pretty sure they have a decent mix, but mostly Western time zone. GT register next pop? I have no idea. We'll have to see. I think it really depends on how our migration goes. Because I think we're still Imperium right now. GT. Here, let me check. Oh, we're not. Oh, we dropped it. Okay, cool. Twiddle's thumbs. Yeah, all I'm gonna say is that they got some pretty interesting names coming in. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but they got one of my good friends coming in. Let's say. Yeah, we got Genie and Anglio. Or NA, but I'm Aussie. Oh my goodness, what time is it in Australia? I don't even want to check. Australia time. Canberra. It is 3:38 a.m. Shout out to the Australians for that play pass openings, because my goodness. I think the Australian time zone is probably the worst for Rise of Kingdoms players. I'm going to be real. 960 versus 23/7 is going to be lit. I hope it happens. I hope it happens. That would be the KVK that, you know, the community wants to see. I think that's like the only plausible matchup for both KDs. So. Always 2 a.m. pass openings, yeah. Yeah, Aang has Peacemaker's account, and that account is in 3174. So, I mean, we just versed him while he was in whatchamacallit. 2489, and I think he was like 3rd in KP, 2nd in KP. So, really good stuff. Depends which rare inscription and what double inscriptions you have. The one with 85 billion KP, probably. I miss Peacemaker. He's busy with his real life businesses, but he's still reachable on Discord, I think. I don't know. I was never really close with him. We had our conversations here and there, but like, I wasn't like DMing him one-to-one. I'm kind of shy. But it's more so like my friends are close with him. You know what I mean? The flag has been built. Oh, there you go. Flag has been built. 45 minutes. This is like Call of Duty Zombies. This is Halo Reach last level. This is the last stand for LX-17 and their allies here, because if this fort burns, then they will be cut off from the 3% all damage. This is the main objective of this zone. They will not have the opportunity to contest it if this fort burns. So this is essentially their zone right here. And I'm telling you guys right now, in the blue side, after this fort burnt for 2489, it was just Luchez and cheeseburgering the rest of the zone. So enjoy this last murder ball fight, the potential last murder ball fight, because it might be the last proper murder ball fight you guys have until zone 7 or past 7. Peacemaker's just a nice dude. Yeah, Peacemaker's super chill. He was the Rock of 2268, and the reason why a lot of people kind of were down on 3092 is because, you know, a lot of people thought 2268 was the kingdom of Peacemaker. But I'm happy to see that 3092 and the homies over there are doing really, really well. I think they're more than capable of being that high AC. They want to be in KVKs like this. They want to be in this bracket. So if you guys are looking to migrate to a kingdom, 3092 and Bus Driver Black Panther, we're gonna message those guys. Migrate to SV.com is the website. SMH. I'm always plugging these guys. They're my boys. They're currently, I don't know if they're winning. They're winning the KVK, but I don't know if they're winning the zone. I haven't seen since I streamed. Oh, by the way, look at this. The arrow towers. The arrow towers are actually provoking the open field fight a little bit early here. There you go. Both sides putting down the king skills. This is going to be potentially the last murder ball fight of this zone. And blue right now has the numbers advantage, although it looks to be stalemated a little bit. Now blue's definitely pushing in. Blue is definitely pushing in. This is one guy that just dove all the way in there. This one guy's Huaki Bing. I know the feeling. Your cab march is just going into the middle of the enemy murder ball for no reason. But man, they are getting outnumbered. Are they elsewhere in the field? Apparently in the Cry Fort. They're at the Cry Fort. Oh, there's some people at the Cry Fort actually. But even with the people at the Cry Fort, as I cry about my frames dying, they have so many numbers here for some reason. I don't know. I would go all in this LX-17 fort, to be honest, because the Cry Fort doesn't really do anything for them. But oh no, this is looking pretty dominant from the blue side. Talk about Ang Leo, Ang V2 launching a fort rally. Oh no. I mean, they still, to be fair, they still have numbers. They're holding their ground. They're just trying to hold and like near the fort. So as soon as the rally comes, they could just insta-swarm it. That's going to be the play. They're going to try to insta-swarm the rallies. Because the rally's main job here is to tank the damage, the main damage from the fort. And then the swarmers could, you know, help bring down the fort. But the thing about forts early on in these zones is that they are super, super strong due to the fact that rally leads don't have max troop capacity. So max troop capacity, I think rally leads might have what 2.5, 2.6 million troop capacity. There you go. We have the rally coming in now. Meanwhile, the fort has 3 million. So if you keep the fort full, you should have a numbers advantage. But you could see that the blue side just pushing down this, just suppressing the red marches. They can't even get to the fort. It's a Gorgo with Heraclius Garrison versus a Henry with, is that a Nebu? No, is that a Ashurbanipal rather? Henry Ashurbanipal, good anti-swarm, good damage. But this fort is going down, and as this fort goes down, so do the hopes of the red team. And that will be it for the zone for them. GG's to them. GG's to the blue side. But that is it. That is the zone for the blue team. Shout out to 2906. I mean, at least that's how it worked in our KVK. Maybe this KVK they'll be able to come back during their downtime. I don't know if they're Asian time zone KD or whatnot. But with that fort going down, yeah, you have to imagine the blue team could now put a fort exactly where the fort was. So they put a fort here. They already have a fort here. It's going to be so hard for the green team, or the red team rather, to push in. So this is going to be absolutely huge win for 2906, 3379, 3358. And it was a great attempt by 2638, 2217, and 1881. But to no avail. Unfortunately for them, their forts have burnt, and this is going to be a huge win for 2906 and their allies. And I mean, I'd be really surprised if this isn't just an outright win for them in this zone. But I will say their allies over here are struggling. Their allies on this side, let's see. Their allies on this side, ooh. Yeah, this fort's about to burn. This fort's getting contested. It is still pretty close though. This bottom side is going to be very competitive, by the way. Okay. Actually, the allies are kind of stalemated 50-50. So this is going to be the zone to watch. But I'm getting hungry, so I'm going to go ahead and raid. Who should I raid? Should I raid Mad Achilles? He's my boy. Mad Achilles. And he's fighting in the KVK. He's also fighting in this zone that's interesting. Okay, I'll go ahead and raid Mad Achilles. He's new to 2268 as well. Not 2268. He's new to 960 as well. Give him some love. Hashtag Ploto raid. Appreciate everyone for coming through. Appreciate 2906 for inviting me to stream this KVK. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace.